I'm Brad Leavitt, president of AFT Construction. If you are a contractor, are into design or architecture, this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell, that way those notifications come through every time we post a new video. So Mick had a question for us. He said, is all of the company apparel Travis Mathews for AFT? And it actually is. You can see here that we have, our logo there on the sleeve, and Travis Mathews, we're actually a partner with them and love their clothing. They're actually polos that fit really well. They have good styles. We're here in Scottsdale and Phoenix. We have a lot of golfers around here, so it fits. A lot of our clients love that we can give them our apparel, and they rep our brand, and while they're on the golf course they're playing. So it's a great way to build that camaraderie and do the marketing and branding. And again, look at that for any company. It's really important that your brand is associated with like-minded brands. And we do that with a lot of them, from Cambria to Kohler to Sub-Zero Wolf to Pella, who you'll see here. Companies that have the same mindset as we do. Travis Mathews, put out quality, good customer service communication, products that last a long time. So great question, and that is definitely something I'm sure you'll notice as you see the videos behind the scenes of myself and our construction team. So Northlight Construction had a really good question for us. They had asked about our systems. How do we scale? Did we scale quickly? And are we using our own in-house software to manage our project management, or are we outsourcing that, to other software that's out there? So when you think about scaling, one mistake that we made, or at least that I should have done to scale quicker, would be to really understanding protocol, procedures, and processes. So it's really important to understand every employee in your company, what their scope of work is. So if they have clear direction on what they should be doing, they can really be empowered and work at their their best capability. So that's really important, is understand that scope of work. And then understanding that transition, so you have less micromanagement, you have less overlap. That'll allow you to work more efficient as a builder. So the advantage to spending time in processes and systems and scope of work and SOP is now you can take that formula and you can put it in other markets. You can put it in other parts of the country because the core is the same. Now it's just applying it to the surroundings around you. So the better your systems are, the better the process, the better it's communicated, the better you can scale. Now as far as software goes, we use Build-A-Trend, and that's for daily logs. That is for our scheduling and for all of our cloud, for all the photo documentation of the project. We also use Bluebeam. Bluebeam is great for takeoffs. That allows us to redline projects. We can find discrepancies and inconsistencies with the drawings and plans, and then take those takeoffs and define our scope of work for our trade partners. And then we also use Foundation. Foundation is our accounting software we use for all of our job costing, which is really important to understand the costs that go in every project. So Braden Peters had a really good question. He said, how do you create a sense of ownership with your staff, and then how do you delegate their task efficiently? This is always a tricky one. I think any company thinks about how can we empower our people. And what I found, it comes down to culture, right? For us, we do a lot of company outings. We're on group texts. We do company lunches. We're very involved, right? So there's this friendship, there's this competitiveness, there's this camaraderie, a little family, part of the AFT family for those that work for us. And then through social media has really taken us to another level, in the sense that our team, they love seeing their projects when they get featured and seeing the comments from those that follow us. And so there's this branding. And then as they see their clients, a lot of our clients are out of state, out of town. And so our team, they'll send them videos and updates, and it just creates this entitlement where now they feel this is their baby, their project. They're doing the communication, they're seeing it broadcast on social media channels. So there's a sense of pride there. And when there's that sense of pride, when you have that accountability, when you have that camaraderie, that culture, all those things kind of work together, and now you have your formula. And going back to delegating, it's something we've spoken about many times, is understanding your processes, having a defined, clear scope of work for each person in their role. Now you can delegate, because you can pass everything on and just keep filling them up with everything they can handle. And so it's really important to have those processes, build that culture, have fun, make sure that you're build them up and edifying them and letting them know, and having constructive criticism where they can do better. And everyone wants to do good at their job. They want to have incentives at the end of the year, and the more we perform, the better it's going to be for all of them. So Gabe Lupus had a really good question, and it's a very long question. I'll do my best to answer it here as I was reading through it, thinking about this. So his question was, how do you grow when you're emotionally invested into your projects in your company? And even more so, as it becomes very challenging when you're working in an industry where there's a lot of dishonest and unethical trades out there. Maybe people are selling one thing and doing another, so you're losing projects. So how do you keep that mindset when you know you have a good product? And how do you portray that to the end customer, with all the challenges out there? And one thing is stay true to who you are and your values, right? And find a way to showcase them, not in a salesy way, but what we did is we came on social media and to compete, we're showing our value. We're bringing value to our customer through our brand relationships with our vendors, most of which are in this project here we're at right now. We're showing site cleanliness. We keep the site clean, we keep it efficient. We're very vocal about our systems and procedures and how we do business. And so what ends up happening is you start building this culture that's perceived by those who follow you. And so, there's always going to be unethical people. There's going to be people underbidding you or maybe misrepresenting their bids to get the job. But at the end of the day, if you have a good enough platform where people understand your brand and what you're offering and how you do it and why you do it, and then being transparent about the mistakes you make. I know a lot of our clients have reached out saying, hey, Brad, the one thing I like is you're open about the mistakes you've made. And it just shows that you guys are cognizant and aware of what you're trying to do in your processes. And that speaks to us because, look, most people understand this is not a perfect trade. Mistakes will happen. So the more you convey that information, just invest that time. It's going to come, but as you get that brand there, you'll have the right customers that understand the value. And you know what? I still have where a lot of customers reach out and they're, we'll give them a budget or pricing and they're like, no, that's too much. It's not worth it to have quality in our job to pay a premium, in their words, which it isn't a premium. We're just trying to be more transparent up front to say, hey, the price we're giving you today is going to be the price at the end of the day. We're not going to tell you something's $1 million and then when you finish the project, you're in 1.5 million. We'd rather say it's 1.5 million and hit that number. So we will have customers that appreciate that and understand that and take value in that, and then we'll have others that may have to learn the hard way, but they'll call us for their second house. And another point to that, Gabe, is when you're thinking about this, a lot of us are branding where we're at now, and the projects we're at, but think of yourself where you want to be and brand yourself for who you want to be, where you want to be, and the clients you want to work with. So find a way to position your company to brand for those, because that's, at the end of the day, you want to position yourself in the future for that clientele and that base of what you'll be doing. So figure out a way to brand yourself in the future, to capture that clientele that you really want to be working with. So Mendez Thomas asked us, why did we get into construction? And so the reality is, for anyone that's listened to my story, I grew up in construction. My father and grandfather were contractors. And so always had an appeal there. And as I got older and realized my love for construction and just what goes into a custom home, as you're seeing behind me, the complexity, the challenge, something about construction that I really love is it changes every day. Every day is different than the previous. Every project's different and more complex. And then at the end of the day, you get to see a masterpiece, right? It's great for our clients that we can, or my children, that I can go and take them to a project or drive by in years to come and you're like, hey, I had a part in the construction of that home or that commercial project. And these are projects that stand the test of time. So it's great when you can see your work of art and actually bring value to the industry, to your neighborhoods, to your economy, and to the state. It's just a great thing. So love construction and what it brings. And then again, just dealing with the complexity and the day-to-day. It's a great environment to be out of the office where you're not just sitting in front of the computer all day. Freaking fly.